I never thought I'd reach a point where I'd look at my parents and feel absolutely nothing. No love, no anger, not even resentment, just a cold, hollow emptiness. But that's exactly what happened the day. They handed my sister $100,000 for her fresh start while telling me, almost proudly, that I wouldn't be getting anything because I had never lived up to expectations. Tell me honestly, if you were sitting there watching your sibling receive a life-changing gift while you were called a failure to your face, would you just smile and nod? Or would something inside you finally break after years of swallowing every unfair thing they shoved onto you? Because that moment, that smug voice saying I'd always been the disappointment, felt like a knife twisting in a wound I'd been trying to pretend wasn't there. But to understand why that knife cut so deep, you need to know that this wasn't sudden. It wasn't one moment. It was a lifetime of being pushed to the background while my sister, Lily, was placed on a pedestal so high I'm not sure even she could see the ground from up there. I'm 32 now, but growing up, I felt like I was raising myself in a home filled with people who looked at me like an inconvenience instead of a child. Lily, 4 years younger, was treated like some fragile miracle straight from heaven. If she sneezed, my parents ran to her with tissues, tea, and sympathy. If I got sick, my mom would tell me to stop being dramatic. From an early age, I learned to silence myself, to make myself smaller, quieter, easier, because anything else was met with irritation or disappointment. When I was 10, I wanted to sign up for a robotics class that cost $60 for the semester. I begged for weeks. My dad finally said no, not because we couldn't afford it, but because you already waste too much time on useless things. A week later, Lily decided she wanted to join ballet. The shoes alone cost $120. They paid without blinking. She quit after 1 month because it hurt her toes. They enrolled her in gymnastics next, then piano, then violin. She quit all of them. They still praised her for finding her passion. Meanwhile, I became the background noise of my own home. As we got older, the pattern deepened. I got decent grades, nothing spectacular, but I worked hard. I stayed out of trouble. I followed rules. But everything I did was met with not good enough. Lily, on the other hand, could show them a stick figure drawing, and they'd act like she was Picasso reincarnated. My mother once pulled me aside after a school award ceremony where Lily got recognized for creative achievement, and I got nothing. She told me, "You shouldn't feel bad. Some kids are meant to shine more than others." Imagine hearing that at 14 and trying to pretend it didn't shape how you saw yourself. By the time I reached college age, I actually had a dream, something I rarely allowed myself. I wanted to study engineering. I applied to schools. I got accepted to 3. I received some scholarship money, but not enough to cover everything. I approached my parents for help. Not even a full tuition payment, just a little support to get my foot in the door. My dad sighed like I was burdening him. He said they didn't have money to waste. And my mom told me college was not for everyone, especially not for kids who struggled. They shut me down so casually, like they were telling me we were out of milk, not crushing my future. 2 months later, Lily told them she wanted to go to a private art school in another state. It cost triple what my program would have, and just like always, the money magically appeared. Loans, savings, a support, encouragement. They packed her bags, while talking about how proud they were to invest in her dreams. I watched from the doorway feeling like a ghost, wondering why I wasn't worth even a fraction of the faith they poured into her. I couldn't afford college alone, so I went straight into work. Retail, warehouse, side gigs, freelancing, whatever. I paid rent. I fed myself. I did what adults do, and I did it entirely alone. Lily, meanwhile, dropped out of art school after 1 year because she didn't like the pressure. My parents welcomed her home like a war hero returning from battle. Another year of finding herself followed, complete with rent-free living, home-cooked meals, and endless praise for being so brave for trying. Fast forward a few years, I'd built my own life slowly. I learned tech repair, small-scale engineering, design work. I had clients. I had bills. I supported myself. It wasn't glamorous, but it felt earned. I was finally starting to feel proud of myself, even if no one else was. Then, 6 months ago, everything changed. I was visiting my parents, something I rarely did, and Lily came in bouncing like she was floating on clouds. She found her dream house. A modern-style 2-story home with giant windows, a backyard with a garden she'd probably kill in a week, and interior decor straight from a magazine. The price? Ridiculous. I figured she'd never get approved for a loan. But I underestimated one thing: my parents' willingness to throw everything at her. During dinner, I watched them slide a check across the table. A check for $100,000. Not a loan, not a gift with conditions. A flat-out down payment for her house. I nearly choked on my water. Lily cried, hugging them. My parents beamed with pride. My mom kept saying, "We want you to have a good start in life. You deserve this." My dad added, "We always knew you were the one with potential." And I just sat there, this pit opening in my stomach, watching the family I worked my whole life to bond with show me exactly where I stood. Nowhere. When I finally gathered the courage to speak, I asked, "You gave her $100,000? My mom looked annoyed. "Don't start." "I'm not starting anything. I'm just confused." My dad said, "Your sister needs stability, and frankly, she deserves a home before you. You've never really pushed yourself." I stared at him, stunned. "I've been working nonstop since I was 18. "And yet," he replied, "you're still not where you should be. Lily is the one we trust to do something meaningful." I felt like I'd been punched. "So what about me?" I asked quietly. "Do I get any support?" My mom scoffed. "Support? You? What have you done to earn that? You made your choices. You didn't go to college. You didn't take risks. You've always held yourself back. You can't expect us to reward failure." The word hung in the air like poison. Failure. After everything I'd done alone, they still saw me as nothing. I don't even remember standing up. But suddenly I was on my feet, and years of swallowed pain erupted. I told them every truth I had buried. How they ignored me. Belittled me, favored Lily, dismissed everything I achieved. How they funded every one of her whims while treating my basic needs like a burden. My voice cracked. My hands shook. Lily tried to interrupt, but I told her to shut up. That she had no idea what it felt like to grow up being told, "You were second place in your own family." Then she said the words that broke something in me permanently. "It's not my fault they love me more." My parents didn't deny it. Instead, they told me to leave if I was going to ruin the evening. So I left. And I didn't speak to them for months. I blocked them. I cried. I healed. I began to accept that maybe the family I wished for never existed. Then, 2 months ago, I got a message from Lily. Her dream house was falling apart. Plumbing issues, electrical problems, foundation cracks. She didn't have the money to fix any of it. And of course, my parents told her, "Ask your sibling, they work in that field." Suddenly I was useful. They asked, no, demanded, that I fix everything for free because family helps each other. The same family that gave me nothing. The same family that called me a failure. The same family that pretended I didn't exist unless they needed something. I refused, politely at first, then firmly, then in the same cold tone they'd always used on me. My parents exploded. They called me ungrateful, selfish, petty. Lily cried, saying the house was her dream and I was ruining her life. They said I was punishing them. And for the first time in my life, I said exactly what I felt. "You are not my family." I blocked them again. Then they showed up at my job, screaming, crying, demanding I fix the house. My boss had to escort them out. I was mortified. A few weeks later, I heard through a cousin that Lily had to sell the house after drowning in repair costs. My parents were forced to drain part of their retirement savings to bail her out. And me? I kept living my life, working, saving, growing, healing. My mother finally left me one voicemail. "You destroyed this family." But how can you destroy something that was never built properly in the first place? So now I'm asking you, was I wrong? Was I heartless? Should I have helped? Or was walking away the healthiest thing I've ever done? If you were on my side like this video, subscribe for more stories, and tell me in the comments what you think, because honestly, I'm still trying to understand whether choosing myself was bravery, or just a lifetime of pain finally overflowing. I'll see you in the next story.